The year's first Bridgestone production car grid boasted 34 entries with various new team car and driver combinations. After qualifying, Afrock's BMW driver Etienne van der Linde was a happy camper.
New team, new season, and we couldn't have asked for a better start. First and third on the grid. I think it's a great result for Team Afrocks.
Did he expect more of the same?
Yes, since we've put the whole deal together, we've been working flat out, and it seems to have paid off. We had quicker testing at Swartkops the other day, and hopefully it's a sign of things to come all season.
Factory Sasol Nissan team leader Leroy Polter was also in confident mood.
Throughout the day we've had a good result. The car's been very good in every session. We've been on top. Qualifying, we had I think a little bit of bad luck. One of the Class T cars spun in front of me on my first lap. But anyway, the car is good. We're second on the grid. I think it's 0.1 between us and Etienne. And I think we got a good race.
Johan Fourie, the quickest Audi driver, explained his strategy.
Yeah, I would have been happy if we got 5 tenths from the pole guy, because then it means we can definitely challenge him in the race. I think they drop off a little bit worse than ours, so we got about 0.2, 0.3 per lap. They got about 0.5, 0.6 a lap. So we'll definitely come into play after the third lap. But the Cunha surprised us yesterday because we were aiming for third, fourth on the grid, and the Cunha snuck in there, so we're fifth. So it just makes us a row further back. So I just have to get a demon start, and hopefully we can go into third, into the first corner.
With the qualifying times of the top 7 Class A cars covered by just more than a second, close action and much spectacle was expected at the front end of the field. Veteran saloon car specialist Ben Morgenrud headed up the Class B field in his rotary-powered Mazda RX-8.
Well, it's as a result of a lot of hard work. Ever since the last race of last season, we've been working on this car virtually day and night. Rebuilt the whole car from one end to the other. And also we've been doing a lot of pre-season testing. We've been to Kyalami twice in the last 2 weeks. And we've been to Swartkops as well. I found in the past that you do get rusty in the off-season, and I think the older you are, the worse that becomes. So it's imperative to do a lot of pre-season testing, and it's paid off. We saw that yesterday.
Morgenrud's closest challenger was Ford Fiesta ST driver Danny van Necker, plus Sasol Toyota Ronex pilots Riyad Jaffa and Dave Compton. And then after more than 3 long months of tough negotiation, much speculation and serious preparation, the 2008 Bridgestone South African Production Car Championship could really begin. Finally, it was time to race again.
It's a case of round 1 and race 1. The lights are ablaze and they're off. A superb start from the line, and look at that, it's BMW's right up front there. Etienne van der Linde getting a magnificent start off the line, and right up his inside comes Leroy Polter. On the outside, that looks like it's Johan Fourie, who's come up from the 5th row of the grid. He's had a superb start. He said he was going to get a demon start, and he's right in there, Matt.
The two Afro BMWs. Look at Taylor climbing all over the back end as we climb up towards West Bank corner one more time. Actually, we're not even there just yet. Getting ahead of myself, but there's movement at the head of the field. Polter looking really, really strong in the first of the Sasol Nissan 300ZX, and I think the BMWs just look like the best turned out team so far. They've done all their work in the off-season. It's showing.
Yeah, they spent a lot of time here getting those practice sessions in at Kyalami, the My Car Sonex Audi there right at the back. And that, of course, has got new sponsors on, with Lenovo coming on board with Melville Priest too as they come into Legends Corner. It's Polter up the inside of Taylor, forcing him wide, and Afrock's just sandwiching that young 350Z. And right on their tail, it's Johan Fourie, and Fourie with an awesome start as they head into the S's.
Fourie looks like he's making that work. He's into 4th place. He's putting a lot of pressure on the back end of Taylor, and that is that bright white A4 Quattro just behind him. But at the moment, it's van der Linde that leads up to West Bank corner. Defensive line from the Nissan, and look at the gaggle of sideways Audis.
Well, sideways Audi, there was a little tap from Marco de Cunha on Melville Priest, so Melville Priest not going to be happy about that, being tapped at West Bank corner, coming out now in the back end of that Class A battle, and he's got a lot of work to do to catch these boys who are absolutely flying. It's Afrock's 1 and 3, Sasol Nissan tucked in there in 2nd place, and look at how defensive he's had to go, because Taylor once passed. on board with Jan Fourie as they come through Bridgestone Bowl, and it's side-by-side action that BMW might have the brakes as they go into City Bike Chicane.
Fourie's got his own problems to deal with. He's in fourth. He started to drop off the back as the guys went through the sweep, so maybe not as much power on that Audi as he hoped, but he's got some big problems just behind him. First of the Audi Extreme N-Gen cars, and that's Sean Watson-Smith as they take to the main straight for the first time.
Completing lap 1, it's BMW 1 and 2. Can you believe that? Unbelievable stuff here right at the front end. And we've got a slight change at the top here. It looks as if Leroy Poulter is falling back behind those BMWs as we get to the halfway point of this first heat. And right at the back end here, oh, Darren Lobb getting it sideways. The Tubular Tech car just going sideways, and I don't think he's going to get out of that.
Change of ends on the kitty litter, pretty deep out there, but he's got out the way of everyone, and this is the Class B battle. Leading it out is Ben Morgenroot in the RX-8 Mazda, Donnie van Niekerk in the Fiesta just behind him, and they have dropped the man in third place, which should be Riyad Jaffa.
Well, putting on a great show for the ST Ford Club as they're going down towards Bridgestone Bowl. The entire Ford ST Owners Club is down here in Bridgestone Bowl as they come through the sweep now, heading to Bridgestone Corner. And back to the front end, it's BMW 1 and 2. Still no changes in those top 4. And Sean Watson-Smith now starting to put on a late charge. Up the inside goes Jan Fourie into Vodacom. Nice move from Jan Fourie. Perfect timing there. Leroy Poulter had nothing to do with it. And unfortunately, he's now been demoted down to 4th.
Well, a little bit of rubbing plastic work. And look at this, the Class B battle once again. Donnie van Niekerk trying to round the outside of Ben Morgenroot up here on Westbank Corner. And that is a very brave move. Is he going to have the ponies to hold off the big RX-8 at the bottom of the straight? It's a very powerful car that Ben's in there. But it's a brave move to keep it planted the whole way through the sweep. And he takes it.
Round the outside, a little touching between the two of them, but that's all about it. Onto the brakes now. Is that ST going to have the brakes, or is it going to be the RX-8? It's the ST of Donnie van Niekerk who gets up the inside. Great driving there from Donnie van Niekerk, but Ben comes straight back at him. They side by side on the little straight that goes up to City Bike Chicane, and Ben's going to have the inside line. He's going to take it back, or is he? Donnie van Niekerk is not giving this up. He wants it. Oh, he's going to cut the corner here. That's going to cost him big time. I think the clerk of the course might have something to say about that, but he's not giving up.
And the checkers come out for the Class A's. It's Van der Linde from Taylor, and then Johan Fourie coming strong in third in the first of the Audis.
Debut outings for brand new racing teams simply do not get better than this. Apart from Etienne van der Linde's flag-to-flag victory, the Afrox BMW Brigade's Anthony Taylor set the quickest lap time of the race, forcing the Audi and Nissan teams to fight amongst themselves for the lesser placings. Ben Morgenroot won Class B, finishing less than a second ahead of Donnie van Niekerk, but the man of the moment was BMW's Etienne van der Linde.
Yeah, it went really well. I mean, we qualified on pole, and it was the first 1-2 for Team ADF and Team Afrox. Great result for the new privateer team, and also the new sponsors Afrox and Castrol on board. Couldn't ask for a better result on the first race.
One of production car racing's top showpieces of the year will be Class T, with most of the country's turbocharged hot hatch models fighting for supremacy. One of the most interesting newcomers at Kyalami was the Ford Racing Team's Focus ST, driven by multiple former champion Gary Formato.
No, we've been building the Focus ST over the last couple of months, but really it all happened this year. So, you know, as usual, any new racing car, sometimes, you run out of time. So we're quite happy just to be here this weekend. So anything qualifying for, third place, our first race out is not too bad. There's a lot of work to go in the car, so we're pretty excited. It's nice to be involved with the project, sort of hands-on, be on a daily basis as well. And I'm just enjoying the challenge. It is going to be a big one as well. I think Class T has certainly become one of the most competitive classes. All the manufacturers that have hard hatch are in the class now. So I think, we're all racing for the stakes are high.
The worked Seat Cupra of Graham Nathan and Ian Pepper's Golf GTI shared the front row of the grid, marginally ahead of Formato's Ford and Piet Versace's Golf GTI.
Race action for classes T and C Bridgestone production cars gets underway, and a good start there from Piet Versace in 45. Right up the back end of the field, it's Graham Donker who's coming through the back of the field in the GTI, but you can go on board and you can see we've had a little bit of rain here at Kyalami, and we're on board with Gary Formato in the brand new Ford Focus.
You can see him getting knocked around, looking down at the settings in his car. They've done a lot of work to get that Ford Focus ST up there, and he's making it count in third place already, holding tight and right up on the back end of Ian Pepper as we watch Graham Nathan in the Seat starting to stretch his legs out front.
Haven't we seen this movie before? This is exactly how it ended last year, and it's starting exactly the same way. It's Graham Nathan in that Seat, the Nathan's Motorsport Seat, Rob Green Motorsport, putting a lot of effort into that car. Look at that. Formato up the inside of Ian Pepper. Well, Ian Pepper, I think you've got a new contender in this class. His name is Gary Formato, and you're going to have your hands full of that focus. Oh, Fasaki and Kakana getting it sideways through Goodyear.
Yeah, it looks like Fasaki had a great start, just went backwards in the first lap, and Nathan really coming on strong. But this car in second place, Gary Formato, just looked like Ian Pepper was being way too nice, left a lot of room. Maybe he's got some problems in the GTI and going backwards himself.
Well, it's GTIs 3 and 4 there at the moment, and indeed 5 as we see them come up to the top of the hill into West Bank corner. Gary van Heerden just behind Kurt Alchin. Alchin already back onto the back end of Ian Pepper, and he's missed Pepper for a while. Remember that Kurt Alchin was participating in the Engine Volkswagen Cup last year, and now moving to production cars. You see Philip Kakana coming in amongst those Class C competitors. It's Tiens Elof battling on the inside there with the Yellow City Golf, and that's Robbie Beninka. But Kakana will have the power as they go down the straight towards the sweep.
Out front in the T's, and you can see the Seat has got big power, but it looks like Ian Pepper's got the bit between his teeth, trying to power around the outside of Gary Formato down here at Legends. Looks like he might have the run on him as well, and problems for the Ford Focus. Something's definitely gone wrong in that car.
Well, Gary Formato looks like he just gave enough room there for Ian Pepper to come through as they go into Bel Air S's. Now, absolutely flat-out stuff as they get up to the top of the hill. Let's see if Formato's going to try something up the inside. We're on board as they go up towards West Bank corner. Gary Formato, you can see how much concentration's in his eyes as he gets up to West Bank corner. No maneuver this time, just tucks in behind Ian Pepper and lives to fight another day. It's going to be another corner and another time during this race that he tries to go up the inside of that PG Glass GTI.
Oh, wait, hang on a second, Greg. It looks like two different lines here coming down the sweep as they head down the mineshaft. But definitely the car in third place, who was ruling second place the first outing for the Focus ST, Gary Formato, looks like he's fading backwards.
Well, Van Heerden coming up to the back end now of Kurt Alchin. This should be a nice battle. These guys battled hard in Engine Volkswagen Cup last year. They've now stepped up into GTIs, into Class T of production cars, and down the hill it looks like Kurt Alchin's going to hold him at the moment, but Van Heerden wants past. He wants that fourth place.
It's a great progression for the what are considered the older drivers coming up from the Polo Cup. They certainly cut their teeth. They moved up into the big GTIs in the Class T, and it's a massively growing class. Much more cars out there, much more drivers, and certainly very exciting racing.
Now we're looking forward to the action in Class T a little bit further back there. This is Mark Silverwood in the Oki Mini. Then we've got Neville van der Merwe in the Renault with Heinz Bozé right on their tail as they come across the line yet again. Look at this side by side. Gary van Heerden looking for a way past Kurt Alchin. Alchin is not going to give that up. Hopefully he's not going to live up to his nickname in this class as well, but they're side by side as they come through turn one, the fastest part of the circuit. And Van Heerden is not giving up. There are absolutely nothing in it between these two GTIs. Well-prepared cars, and it looks like Alchin might just have the inside line as they go up towards Lone Hill Shopping Centre corner.
Van Heerden just kept it buried the whole way through there, and we're back to the Class C battle here. Tians Elof and Lindsay Steyn in both of the Fiats, and they've gapped the rest of the field completely as that river is still running across. Everyone's got to hold their breath as they head into the first turn. Things get pretty sketchy through turn one.
Front end of Class T, and you can see that Nathan has pulled up a huge lead over everybody else. No one is going to catch this Nathan's Motorsport, Rob Green Motorsport, Sayat, as they come into the closing stages of heat number one. Out of Bridgestone corner now, it's a short little straightaway. You can see Pepper is trying everything he knows, but I don't think he's got enough time. Formato is going to be very happy with the podium as they get to the closing stages. And I tell you something, that Ford Focus is going to be something to watch out for during this season, Matt.
Definitely nice to see him getting his setup right. A podium for the first outing can't be bad, but Pepper's trying to keep it honest in second place.
Checkered flag out for Graham Nathan, Ian Pepper in second place, and Gary Formato in third in the Ford Focus ST. In Class C, it was all about the Fiats, and a great ride there from Tiens Elof ahead of his teammate Lindsay Steyn. Robbie Beninka in third.
Nathan Sayat finished just more than a second ahead of Pepper's Golf GTI with Formato's Focus ST in third. Naturally, the race winner was ecstatic.
Just an awesome race, a great start to the year. All credit to the guys in the team behind me. Endless list. Thanks to Vic, Dean, Rob, Stephen, everybody that's helped me get this car where it is. Ian unfortunately got into a bit of an argy-bargy with Gary, so the two of them were holding each other up, and I didn't have to push very hard at all. I could just try and get a constant rhythm and a constant pace and make sure I don't fall off in the water, and it came to the end.
The day's final Bridgestone production car race saw all four classes taking to the tarmac, and the scene was set for spectacular action throughout the large field.
Well, this time, second heat of the production cars, reverse grid all around and a rolling start. All classes in together, and that's Chop Sapuka in the lead in the outside there in the first of the Sassel Nissans. Dakuna just behind him, and it's going to be a very busy race.
Chop Sapuka coming back from an international test in Phoenix and doing a superb job for the South Africans, and really showing a turn of pace here already in the first heat. He's out front ahead of D'Cunha and pushing hard right on D'Cunha's tail. It's the first of the Engine Extreme Audis, and looks like that is Michael Stephen. Then we got Anthony Taylor tucked in behind there in the first of the BMWs as we go on board with Gary Formato looking ahead. It's Kurt Alchin. Just ahead of him, it's the Oki Mini, and that, of course, is Mark Silverwood as they go into Goodyear Corner for the first time. Look at that round the outside. Kurt Alchin made that Mini look absolutely silly as he went round with that GTI. You can see just ahead it's Graham Donker, but back up front it's Chop Sapuka. Johan Fourie, the man on the move, going up the inside of Van der Linde.
Fourie on the charge. He's always been great at the rolling starts, coming from his V8 racing days, and he's going to be a man to watch. He's great coming through traffic. We go back to the thick end of the battle here in Class Bs, and that's Kusi Swanepoel coming up the inside of Pike, trying to make it count early on.
Now the Toyota Runnix is pushing it hard and very tough stuff, but up front, look at the pace that Chop Sapuka is running. He really is pushing it, and is he going to be able to hang on to it and keep these boys at bay? I don't think so, because these guys really mean business. You can see Johan Fourie with a big question mark on the side of that car looking for sponsors, and he really is a man to pick up as we go on board with him. Let's see what he can do as they go through the sweep. He's right on the tail end there of one of the Engine Extreme Audis.
That's Michael Stevens, who's going to be coming under massive pressure. Now what's happening is everyone's starting to bunch up and kind of hold each other up, and these are when the passing maneuvers are going to happen, and hopefully not when the changing of paint is going to happen, although Johan Fourie is not too worried about that. White is the cheapest colour.
Yeah, it is. That's the way to do it as they come through City Bike Chicane. As Chop Sapuka ahead of Michael Stephen. D'Cunha being demoted down to third place there as they came out of Bridgestone Bowl, and just picking up on Darren Lobb. He managed to get that car sorted out. Look at that! BMW up the inside. Taylor on the inside of D'Cunha. That Afrox BMW looking really good, but not able to make it stick. They are side by side as they come across the line.
Taylor tried to make that count, but he actually slowed himself down, so watch out for a move coming up on Anthony Taylor, and that'll happen in either turn 1 or 2. He's coming under big pressure from the second of the Sasol Nissans. That should be Leroy Poulter coming right up under his back wing, and he's bringing along Sean Watson-Smith along for the ride. Things getting really tight, and that's just leaving Chop Sapuka to run away.
Yeah, exactly that. That's exactly what's happening up front there. Sapuka just putting the power down, keeping his head clear of all the action behind him and just concentrating on keeping that lead. But here we come to the top of the hill, back into West Bank Corner. D'Cunha, round the outside comes Taylor. Nice move there from Anthony Taylor in the Afrox BMW. He gets it past the Tubular Tech Nissan, and the Sam Racing boys have got a bit of work to do to catch these first 3 cars.
That's about as fast as you can go around the outside of West Bank Corner. Not a lot of grip off the racing line, so the rear-wheel drives of those Afrox BMWs working real hard, and a lot of stick work and wheel work from Johan Fourie, trying to go around the outside of absolutely everyone. I think this might lose him out. He's trying to break up the paces, but he's just got to power down on that 4-wheel drive system, and he holds station.
Back to Class B, and look at this. It is an awesome battle here between the Ford Fiesta of Donnie van Niekerk and Ben Morgenroot yet again. So the battle resumes here in the second heat, but of course now they're going to contend with some Class T contenders just ahead of them, and Donnie van Niekerk is doing a superb job in that Stanger Auto Ford Fiesta ST. Look at that Randfontein panel beaters car up the inside, the Zoom RX-8 side by side with that ST as they head down Westbank Mineshaft into the sweep, and who is going to have what it takes on the brakes?
Well, this is exactly a mirror finish of heat number 1, and it was Donnie van Niekerk who had the power to actually stay on the outside and keep it planted the whole way around, but Ben Morgenroot seems to have the drive on the big RX-8, that rotary engine pulling real strong. Second time we've seen this out, 2 seasons old this car already, but still looking very good.
Yeah, van Niekerk is using that front-wheel drive system to absolutely perfection. Up front, though, in Class T, it's a big change. Look at this. Nathan behind Formato and cannot find a way past just yet. Gary Formato leads his first Class T production car race. Up the inside goes Nathan. Side by side as they come through Bridgestone. And what an awesome bit of driving there. No touching. Absolutely perfect stuff. That's how we need to do it in Class T. Keep it clean, boys.
The guys knew exactly where the other driver was. They've given each other just enough space. And you might even see a hand up of thank you from Nathan, because that was very gentlemanly driving. The Seat definitely has the power. That's the feature of the rolling start. That's the feature of the reverse grid. It shows the fast boys they've got to come through and show their worth. And they're certainly doing that now.
Well, Nathan has certainly done that. Here comes Pepper just in the background. Is he going to have enough time to try and catch up? Looks like we've got some problems here. Is Benenka gone off? Yes, he has. He comes back onto the field, but he's now in about third place behind those 2 Fiats yet again. So Robbie Benenka having some problems in that BTS Volkswagen City Golf.
It's a couple of seasons old, but it's still looking really good. He just maybe needs a little bit of new technology to keep up with the Fiats, who seem to be running away with Class C at this stage.
Yeah, Class C all about the Fiats, but here comes Benenka, and he's going to try and catch the both of them. It's Lindsay Stein and, of course, Tiens Elof in those cars. But back to the sharp end. This is Class A, and look at how it's getting sideways up front here. Yeah, look at that. Sean Watson-Smith looking for a way past, getting it absolutely sideways through the Bridgestone Bowl, and he's now looking for a way past Chop Sapuka as they head up towards City Bike Chicane. He's on the inside. Has he got Sapuka? He has indeed. Great driving from Watson Smith.
We've got to change the lead with just a lap and a bit to go. The Engine Extreme, the current reigning champion, hits the front, and he's got the power down now. Michael Stephen will be seeing that hopefully a little bit further up the road and be inspired to chase down his teammate. But look at Taylor. He's coming on real strong. I think he's got to pass on this lap as well.
Now, the Chop Sapuka fans were very happy to see him up the front. They're a bit disappointed now that he's dropped to second. But here they come into the closing stages of this race. Taylor's going to look for a way past Sapuka as well. I don't think Sapuka's going to give up that second place. He's worked very hard. Poulter there, his teammate in fourth. Then it's the second of the Afrox BMWs, Etienne van der Linden, Faree, then Michael Stephen. So Class A, once again, a great race between these boys. And across the line, it's Watson Smith who takes the win for Engine Extreme Audi.
Sapuka by the skin of his teeth in second.
Watson Smith, the defending overall South African production car title holder, underlined his Audi's pace by setting the quickest lap time of the race to score a welcomed extra championship point. Going one better, Graham Nathan set a new Kyalami Class T lap record in his Seat Leon Cupra, making him the only Bridgestone production car driver to beat an existing time benchmark on the day. Ben Morgenrud scored maximum points for Mazda by winning Class B again, while setting the category's quickest lap. Afterwards, we spoke to Sean Watson Smith.
It was awesome, really. One of the best races ever. I think it was very tough. Got through to second quite early on, and I thought to myself, well, now Chops will just come back towards me, you know, as his tyres fade, and he just never did. I mean, I said to myself a number of times during the race, man, this guy's driving a good race. He never made mistakes. So I must have inched up on him at sort of a few hundredths a lap. Very, very tough race mentally, because I knew one mistake and he would be gone, because I was such a little bit quicker than him. And then lucky for me, I caught him with a lap and a few corners to go, and used the four-wheel drive Audi and got him on the exit. So no, I'm absolutely ecstatic. Had a very tough weekend, and it's a great comeback.
Class T runner-up Ian Pepper was also happy.
We had a good race. Obviously, the inverted grid, the eight places back, Graham and myself at the back, and Gary. I think the first 3 laps were very interesting coming through the field. It was nice and clean. Graham and I rubbed a little bit at the bottom of the bowl. I don't know, something, and understeered a bit. We gave each other room. He gave me a tap. Gary and I and Graham had a little bit of a rub. But I mean, you look at the cars, that's how we need to go racing. Nobody got bumped and bashed, and that everybody used their head. It was good.
Naturally, Ben Morgenrud was more than satisfied with his efforts.
Wonderful day, 2 wins, pole position, 2 wins. I don't know about the fastest lap in the second heat, but we had the fastest lap in the first heat. As I said in the first interview, we did a lot of work this year, and I expected the car to be quite a bit slower in the second heat. You know, the car's heavy and the tyres go off. It just kept constant all the way though, handling like a champion.